Mrs. Cherry J., Executive Vice President, Professor C.S. Lau, Dean of Medicine, Professor Rosie Young, Dr. Teresa Lee, medical graduates, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great honor for me to speak to such a distinguished gathering of medical graduates. Congratulations on your graduation. It represents the accumulation of many years of dedicated study and hard work, supported and encouraged by parents and family members, many of whom are here today to join the celebration. Well done, parents and family. Let's give them a round of applause. From the community's point of view, it is great news to have such a substantial enhancement to the strength of the medical profession. Doctors, nurses, dentists, other professionals, completing a holistic lineup of the health industry. A healthy community is the foundation of society, without which we can forget about economic development and financial prosperity. Well, I was not smart enough to study medicine, so I had to find other ways to make a living. I was a business student at Hong Kong U. It was also a difficult subject, difficult to fail. This occasion reminds me of the time I graduated. Don't ask me which year. It's long before you were born, probably before your parents were born. But at that time, Hong Kong was very poor and very backward. Most people work in factories, making garments, toys, plastic flowers, very basic goods. And there's a huge influx of immigrants, tens of thousands. They could not afford proper housing. As a result, large squatter areas appear on all parts of the territory. Kowloon Wall City was just one example. These places have no proper drainage, water supply, or power supply. These shanty towns were not only health hazards, but also breeding grounds for illegal activities. That was the situation at the time. And of course, at the same time, bribery and corruption was very rampant, not only in the government sector, but also in the business sector. My first two jobs actually reflect these conditions in Hong Kong. My first job was squatter clearance, taking down the illegal structures to clear the land for proper development, whilst moving the residents to multi-story public housing with facilities. It was the start of a huge housing program, which today provides accommodation for almost 50% of the population. Next job I did was anti-corruption, joining the ICAC, working to achieve a public attitude change through investigation, prevention, and education. These two movements, I mean public housing and anti-corruption, have changed Hong Kong drastically and have seen the city through two major economic transformations, from manufacturing center to re-export center, and then from re-export center to the service center, all the way to the modern and legal society we live in today. Of course, one major factor that brought about our fast economic growth was the opening of the Chinese mainland market, which gave Hong Kong people both the resources and the opportunity to diversify and to grow big. Hong Kong has seen many past ups and downs, but with the support of mainland China, each time we bounce back stronger than before. I left the government after several years, and these changes gave me many opportunities. as MC just said, in the private sector, I went through stockbroking, investment banking, and fund management. But it was in the public services that I got a chance to really get satisfactory, rewarding career. I'm proud to say that I walk around the city, you'll be surrounded by some of the things that I did in the past 50 years. As chairman of TDC, we built a convention exhibition center and started many of the exhibitions and conventions, including the book fair, Art Basel, electronics fair, etc. While working for the MTR, we built many railway lines, including the Airport Express, but also the above station developments, such as IFC and ICC. We also brought out the octopus cart and built a cable car at Lantau Island. If you fly and take off from Hong Kong International Port, you have noticed the enlarged and upgraded 3-runway system. Moreover, something you may not know, if you travel to Beijing, Shanghai, Hangzhou, Shenzhen, or even London, you may probably notice some of the subway lines that MTR built and managed, and some of the airports that the Airport Authority of Hong Kong manage in China. Well, for me personally, one of the most satisfying jobs was this very auditorium, or indeed the whole of the Centennial campus. All of it was fundraised and built during my tenure as chairman of the Hong Kong U Campus Development Committee. And as a coincidence, I was also chairman of MTR at the time. And my democratic guidance to the staff was there must be a Hong Kong U station, and there must be lifts to bring people up to the platform level. But throughout my working life, no matter how hard I try, I don't think my efforts will ever match the high standard and excellence set by the health and medical profession. You are the inspiration for all other lines of business in Hong Kong. And like the rest of the community, I owe my health and life to your professionalism. I'd like to tell you a true story, if I may. It takes 2 minutes. 5 years ago, I was in London Heathrow for a meeting and already checked all my bags and waiting for the noon flight. And then all of a sudden I began to feel a growing pain on the lower abdomen. And my host in Heathrow says, well, you better let our doctor on duty to examine. And after examining my stomach, he says, you better postpone your flight and get a scan in a nearby hospital. At that moment, still I insist, I must get on the flight without telling them that I got a very important golf game waiting in Hong Kong. Anyway, to make me help the decision, I called up a doctor friend in Hong Kong. He said, Jack, it could be acute appendicitis. If not treated time, it may lead to life-threatening, let me be very clear, peritonitis. Is that right? Yeah. So to cut the long story short, I had the operation within 6 hours. Looking back, if I had boarded that flight, the noon flight, I would have been somewhere over the Russian airspace. And even if the pilot agreed to emergency landing, I would end up in Moscow, don't know how to find a hospital. Few people speak English, except perhaps President Putin. So from that point on, my motto in life is just shut up and always listen to the doctor. I'm afraid today is an exception. From that point on, I believe to save life and relieve suffering is your sacred duty. This belief was reaffirmed when recently I joined the governance committee of the Hospital Authority. and really came to understand the hard work, the responsibility, the devotion of the medical professionals, especially those who work in public sector. Always quietly working away, low profile, often criticized, seldom praised. You are the unsung heroes of Hong Kong. I'm grateful to Hong Kong and to mother country China for giving me the opportunity in the past 50 years. But imagine the opportunities that your generation will get in the next 50. China is now the second largest economy in the world, with the opening up of the Belt and Road and the GBA. And we are entering the era of artificial intelligence, with multiple applications in the field of medicine. And don't forget, Hong Kong U is the top university of Asia. To conclude, in Hong Kong, we have one of the best public health systems and the longest life expectancy in the world, all because of the medical profession. And here you are, ready to serve and safeguard not only Hong Kong, but all of humanity. Dear graduates, Hong Kong needs you. The world needs you. Once again, congratulations. Go forward and make a successful and rewarding career. Thank you.